Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let it take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome to Wisconsin Family. I'm Stacy Hansen.
And I'm Justin Riley, and we are at the Black Locust Cafe on East Washington Avenue in Madison. And this is a great place.
It's a really cool place.
Happening place. That's
Yeah,
what
it's been really busy all morning, which is great. And they've got a lot of cool offerings like crepes and bings. And we'll talk a little bit more about
learn a little bit about
what
Bings
that is
later on in the show. We're going to talk with John Reske, who is the sort of developer and the mastermind, if you will, behind the Rabinia Courtyard family of restaurants, which includes Black Locust Cafe, Barolo, and Julep. So we'll talk with him later on in the show, and he'll talk a little bit about where the business has been and kind of where it's headed.
Yeah, his vision. We'll also have Alice Ezra from Midwest Beauty House on the show. They've got a really cool concept there, lots of organic, green type of products there, and an old school sort of historic barbershop environment, which is really cool.
Right over on Shanks Corners, it was a barbershop for many, many years, and so we're looking forward to hearing how it's changed and how she's transformed that space. We're also going to be joined by Brandon Brisky, who is sort of heads up the Black Locust Cafe, and he's going to talk about a few menu options and how the whole thing got started and how he got involved. So that's coming up right after the break here on Wisconsin Family, so stick with us. Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We've been filming here at the Black Locust Cafe over on East Washington Avenue. And now we're going to talk to a couple of folks from the Rabinia Courtyard family of restaurants. We're joined now by Brandon Brisky and John Reske. And what was the name that you came up for each other? Brandon John Brisky?
The branded name?
Brand John Bresky would be the name.
Brisky, Reske and Brisky sounds good too.
Patent pending, of course.
Yeah. Yes.
There you go.
We have to meld first into one being, but we're working on that.
We're working on it. It's only been, not very long, right?
A few months.
Yeah, so, give it time. Give it time.
Yeah, we'll probably be breaking up soon.
Well, we'll be here to cover that. So
the Black Locust Cafe is under this Rabinia Courtyard menu, and we're going to delve into that. Julep is here as well. Let's talk about Barolo too, because I want to make sure we're hitting a little bit about how they fit into the group.
Yeah, absolutely. And sadly, the owners, Brian Haltner and Lucas Balamuth, were unable to make it this weekend. So I don't know if you know, Brian Haltner owns Maduro up on the square, the cigar bar, if you recall, and he's obviously, he's been in the wine business for 30 years, either sommelier, distributor, vendor, and obviously a purchaser for many, many restaurants, including Opera House. I don't know if you remember Cocalico, obviously Maduro,
yes.
And now this place. But so obviously very passionate about wine. It's always been a dream of his to open up a wine bar. And so Lucas joined him on that team, and Brian's also the director of operations for the entire organization as well. But it's a great wine bar concept. Obviously fits in very well with the theme here as far as, more daytime loving operation here. Julep, which the Southern restaurant, which is a little bit more of a traditional sit-down restaurant operation, and then you've got the small plates coming out of Barolo, and they're open much later than the other two entities. So. Yeah, we all fit together in various, thematically as well as hours of operation, and all capitalize on the shared kitchen concept as well as the shared courtyard. So
yeah,
it's a nice
shared
mix.
Kitchen and shared courtyard. I think that's important to note, and we've talked about this a little bit before the show. How people, the clientele from these three restaurants really get to kind of commingle outside in the courtyard, which is a pretty cool concept.
It is. Yeah. We like it. We great opportunity for people that might not be of the same background or mindedness to get a chance to interact with each other. They might have a friend in common or something out there, or at one of the other establishments, and then you get to enjoy that overlap. So.
Yeah. Brandon, I'm just curious to know, we talked a little bit about this before the show. You were in the service industry for 11 years. How did you come on board the Rabinia Courtyard Group?
Well, I've known John through a food service job a couple years back. We got to know each other through that and gained a nice relationship. He brought me on board here with the cafe, and and I've been doing that for a couple months now. It's going well.
You're liking it so far?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's just really cool to be a part of a place where, like John said earlier, it's 3 separate places, but all very much close-knit.
Right.
It helps that we are, again, this morning-centric kind of cafe. Then you can transition to the wine bar in the afternoon and then maybe have some sit-down dinner later on. And we do have great plans for the cafe in the future, too.
Right.
We just painted this wall here and are going to do some more interior work in the
Speaking
future.
of interiors, there's a really cool safe door in here. Can you give us the explanation behind that? Where'd that come from? It's awesome.
This was an old furrier,
I believe is the
a while back. So this vault door is actually still in place from that establishment. So we kept the room same size. We haven't altered that. There are no furs in there though now.
Okay.
As you
Good to
can
know.
see.
No
Good to
furs for
know.
sale
No
on
furs,
site.
no.
Okay.
Just coffee and great food.
Planning to expand to add furs at all, or not so much?
Not so much.
Sadly, no. It's out of our price point.
Yep.
actually.
Price point. Very good, very good. So, where do you see this going? The Rabinia Courtyard Group, Julep, Black Locust Cafe. What do you see in the future as far as how you want to expand? What do you want to add to menu? What do you see in the future? What's happening in the future?
Well, I know Chef has a lot of ideas for food. He's been doing this for years and is a very talented individual. And he has 3 chefs in one building for 3 different places.
Right.
But as for the cafe and Rabinia Courtyard specifically, I think we're in a really unique position where we are on East Washington Avenue, the growth of Madison in general. We have Frank Productions putting a huge theater in very close by, which will accent foot traffic. And these new buildings across the street also help with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick before we go, what if people have never been down here before? What do you think is the one thing that would motivate people to come and sit down, have a cup of coffee, or something off your menu? Why should people come here?
I think the atmosphere is unique. Again, you can come to the cafe and you can transition to all of the other establishments as well. But for this place specifically, we serve something that no other place in Madison does. Those are bings, which are traditional street food in China. So,
Wow.
that's something that
Bings?
Yeah, bings.
Wow.
Bings. We have 3 of them on the menu now and looking to expand.
I thought you might say that people come down here in the morning, they never have to leave because they've
don't.
got
Really?
coffee in the morning,
Yeah.
Wine in the afternoon, and then dinner in the evening.
Yeah, we
And
call it the
wine
Rabinia
again?
Crawl, actually.
Rabinia Crawl.
T-shirts are coming.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Late 2017.
Brandon Brisky and John Reski, thank you so much for
Thanks so
joining
much,
us
guys.
today. Pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Don't go away. There's more Wisconsin Family coming up after the break. Stick around.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We've been filming right here at the Black Locust Cafe on East Washington Avenue.
Really excited to talk to them and find out what they have to offer. This place is new to me, so it looks great. I'm smelling a lot of delicious food smells.
Delicious fragrances. We are joined now by Alice Ezro from Midwest Beauty House. How are you, Alice?
Hi.
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, good to have you with us. I'm going to start off by just asking, what made you decide to open your store, Midwest Beauty House?
I wasn't going to open a storefront this year, but it was really the space that did it for me. I found out about this cute little 400 square foot retail space on Winnebago Street in Shakes Corner. It has just a really cool history. It was a series of barbershops from the 1940s through the 60s in Madison. And then early 70s, the last barber moved out, I think when everybody decided to grow their hair out. And
Barbers went out of business all over the
yeah, exactly. And then there was a flower shop that existed next door for 70 years, Flagstad. Took my space over and used it as storage for over 40 years.
Wow.
So my space literally sat dormant for over 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
The flower shop closed, new ownership took over the building. And I got to bring the hair tradition back to the space. So
That's cool.
So you trying to
Bring
keep
it full
that
circle.
classic vibe? Are you trying to kind of go back to that, its roots?
yeah, it definitely has a vintage aesthetic to it. The
Yeah.
building was built in 1920, so I tried to go for a little bit more of an Art Deco, old school feel.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what sort of services do you offer there?
It's how I describe it is a classic beauty shop experience with a modern salon focus. We do cut color, basic styling. I have an awesome nail girl, and yeah, so all the basics like barbering that you'd be used to.
Men and women's haircuts?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, everybody.
All right.
I do have a specialty in kind of weddings and formal styling.
Oh, okay.
I'm a makeup artist as well, so that's another focus of the salon, but I joke that I kind of specialize in everything.
Yeah, that's great though. Yeah,
Master of all trades,
Yeah.
jack of none.
Yeah, right.
That's what you want in,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
beauty salon. Yeah, to be
Totally.
able to go there and just come out looking gorgeous,
Yeah.
head to toe.
Yeah.
Nails, makeup, hair.
So talk to us a little bit about some of the products that you carry, because obviously you have kind of a retail component to your place.
Yeah.
What are some of the products that you carry?
It was really important to me, if at all possible, to carry as many natural products as possible.
Okay.
So we're not a full organic salon, but
Sure.
we carry all organic hair color. And all our styling products for hair are certified organic. And then as far as nails, it's the best out there,
Yeah.
possible for being the best for your body.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
That's great that you're doing that. It's nice to see so much of the green movement going into like,
Yeah.
beauty products as well. So what are you most excited about then, about all this new stuff you've got going on?
Everything.
Good answer.
I being a new entrepreneur,
It's exciting.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an adventure every day.
Yeah.
I guess I'll say that.
Yeah.
I guess in the first few months of business, the coolest thing about this space has really been the neighborhood culture that I kind of think exists in the neighborhood already, but being a high traffic corner area. And I've worked in the neighborhood for 10 years already. So,
Okay.
I have a lot of neighborhood and family connections there. It just has this old school feel. Like people walk past and wave. People stop into the shop all the time and say hi.
Yeah.
Which I think is something that we've kind of lost in our culture. So
Right.
that feeling of like stopping in your old school barber shop,
Right.
Just shoot the,
Shoot the breeze.
Yeah,
cool.
Right.
That you
exactly.
have that environment.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the word culture a couple of different times here, and that's actually part of your slogan for better beauty culture.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
It means a lot of things.
Okay.
But, I think to start from, our perspective as a business, it's better beauty culture is us taking care of people to the best of our ability with offering safe and good for you products, with taking care of people with our services to the best of our ability. And then two, I could probably go on about what I think that means for a really long time.
Right.
But I never went into my industry from a vanity perspective. It was always artistic and it was always
Right.
about the people.
Yeah.
So to me, better beauty culture is, focusing on beauty from a taking care of you perspective.
Right. Yeah. So important. So
Yeah.
important. And I like how you use the word artistry, or there's an artistic component
Yeah,
to that as well.
it definitely is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, Alice Ezra from Midwest Beauty House, thank you so much for joining with us today.
Thanks.
It's been
Nice to meet
insightful.
you.
We
Yeah.
enjoyed having you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Don't go away. There's more Wisconsin Family coming up after the break. Stick around.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We're going to talk with John Reske, who is the developer here at the Black Locust Cafe, and which is part of the Rabinia Courtyard family of restaurants. John, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for hosting us here. It's wonderful to be here. I love the atmosphere here.
Thanks.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a hopping place at this time in the morning.
Is.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of a background. First of all, let's talk about the Rabinia Courtyard family of restaurants. Give us a little bit of a history of that company.
Okay, well, this all started out probably, I want to say November of 2013, actually. I do a little, actually, I'm a real estate developer by trade, I suppose. And I was looking at this property on behalf of a couple of commercial clients of mine and walked back into the courtyard. It was a teen center for 10 years prior, roughly. And walked back, and it was just all graffiti and just open concrete back there. And I walked back there, it fit the parameters of some of my clientele, and but I walked back there, looked around, I was like, this has got to be an outdoor courtyard. You know, Madison does not have enough outdoor dining space, as we know. You look at the Twin Cities, and by comparison, and the climate's actually worse up there, and yet they embrace the outdoors so much more than we do. So
yeah, what's our excuse then, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, you know, obviously the Cap East district is up and coming. The city put a lot of resources in banking the land over here, the 8 acres, and Otto Gephardt stepped up and finally pulled the trigger on the Constellation a few years ago, and Galaxy's going up as we speak, and the Cosmos next door, and American Family Insurance is putting 160,000 square feet up next door, so you can just feel all the energy, and we got in at the right time, and so we feel good. And again, it was, you know, creating a cool spot in a cool up-and-coming district. So we're excited about it, just from all levels. So.
Yeah, it's exciting to see this. This whole area it's just grown up so much, and
It
it's
is.
just absolutely beautiful to
Yeah.
look at too, and it's so cool. So Black Locust Cafe in particular, you know, how did the concept of this particular cafe come about, and what's the meaning of the name?
Well, yeah, exactly. We got some pushback actually, but so the original, we used to have A-OK Coffee House in here, and Gwen and Kyle Johnson have since moved on. They've got an ever-expanding empire and a lot of irons in the fire, and this was the easiest component of their portfolio to shed, so to speak. And so, you know, we filled the void. We kept it in-house, and I brought on Brandon Reske as a partner, and so we turned to Black Locust Cafe because Rabinia Courtyard is actually, Rabinia being the genus of the Black Locust tree. It's my favorite tree. A lot of people don't like that tree. It's mildly invasive, mildly to highly invasive, perhaps. But our planting was legitimate, DNR, thank you. But so we put that in October of 2014, and I love the tree. It flowers from last 2 weeks of May, 2 weeks of June, and then it's just super fragrant. So our dream out there is to have a mature canopy out there, black locust trees, super fragrant and just beautiful out there. But again, we just tied it in the concept without being too overlapping, maybe thematically, if you will, because again, we've got 3 distinct restaurants here, and then we've got the distinct branding of the overarching courtyard concept too.
Yeah.
Just again to keep everything separate, but married as well. So
That's really cool, and I think that there is an appetite here in town to have more outdoor dining. And I didn't realize that we were behind the Twin Cities on that.
Yeah, that's
but
surprising.
I think that's fantastic that you're doing that. I'm curious to know. It kind of sounds to me like your interest shifted when you saw this property, when you came to this property, and that before you had kind of scouted it out for one of your potential clients, and then you kind of thought, well, maybe this is something that I should take over.
right.
So has that kind of been your role? Are you still working with other clients on commercial real estate, or are you?
I'm trying
is this your
to.
primary
I'm trying
endeavor?
to. If you ask those clients, they might say not so much. But because obviously this morphs. You never know what you're getting into, especially in the restaurant world. And yeah, it's definitely consumed a little bit more of my week than I had anticipated. But I greeted it with open arms, and I think again we've created a great concept here. But I will say that it's funny you say that this might have been an itch I wanted to scratch a while back, because actually I own a property with a group 4 blocks down actually, and there was a courtyard concept there that we were trying to share with a coffee house, and there were some logistical issues there on trying to make that work. That did not get to the finish line, and so maybe I looked at every property with the potential of creating some kind of outdoor space. And again, it's about creating opportunities for people to interact with each other, really. And then we've got 3 disparate concepts here, and hopefully that courtyard is kind of the meeting place where you might not, you go to a restaurant, you're kind of mixing with the same clientele that you would normally mix with, right? But here, we've got three different, there's obviously a lot of overlap, but we've got three different layers of like demographics maybe, and the commonality is the courtyard, and they come out.
They can all intermingle out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Have you been
that's
hosting some events out there, some formal events besides just the dining?
Yeah, we're working on that. We really tried to push back on that a little bit for the first year because we didn't know exactly what the opportunity costs were just from a regular business perspective. And so now that we've got that dialed in a little bit more, we're going to be pursuing events out there. We've had a lot of requests for weddings out there, receptions, things of that nature. So we are definitely going to embrace that much more next warm season. So,
do you think that you're going to expand your family, so to speak, in restaurants?
We do it. Yes, the answer is always yes.
And then from a building perspective as well, do you see this building?
Right. It's funny. There's a lot of. It's become quite competitive in this market now. There's virtually no land or parcels of land that are unspoken for at this point. So there's definitely some arm wrestling going on right now, which is great. I mean, it means that we made the right decision, obviously. And then, but right now, again, it's a matter of resources and capital allocation, things like that, where we just need to, make sure that this is still a home run moving forward, and then consider. But yeah, we're always thinking. So.
Sure.
Before we go to, I want to talk menu because you've got some unique offerings here. I'm hearing a lot about crepes and bings.
Right.
Tell us what a bing is.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just, we brought in a new chef. Our opening chef, did a great job. He was with us for 10 months. August 1st, he moved to Houston, opened up a restaurant with his brother, actually. So he stuck around as long as he could. It was great. Gave us plenty of heads up to find a new chef, and thankfully, and luckily, serendipitously, Chef Nick Johnson, who was at the Stam House, which had obviously gone through its own transition. But we pretty much, between Laura Jones, Sarah Kinzer, who owned Julep, myself, Nick Johnson, we all worked at Magnus together, and LJ was one of the owners at Magnus as well. So we all worked under her, so we got the band back together, so to speak, which was great. And Nick steps in, and I just said, I just want to do crepes. I think there's not enough places doing crepes right now. I think we could do them well, do them quickly. And then he's like, what about the jianbing here, which is kind of this, it's hitting the coast right now. It's a traditional Chinese crepe sandwich, basically. So there's no reason to not throw that on. And we're looking for some kind of, I don't know if catchy is the right word, but some kind of street food at night that's cheap. Get some bodies in here at night because this place is not night-loving enough. And that was one of the flaws in the overall concept from my perspective and from my own doing, is that you could have 200 people in Julep and Barolo on a Friday night in the courtyard field, and you drive by and this cafe is closed. It closes at 9. But so people very much viewed it as a coffee shop. We're trying to expand on that concept. So.
Cool.
John Reske from the Ravinia Courtyard Group, thank you so much for having us here today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been here on location at the Black Locust Cafe on East Washington Avenue in Madison. Come on down. Check it out. Yeah, absolutely. That's all the time we have for Wisconsin Family. We'll see you next time.
Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the